Hey guys, it's me, Missy with Rustic Relics, and in this video, I'm going to show you how I took this and transformed it into this, just using a little bit of Dixie Belle paint and Gilding wax. Let's get started. So I have this really large, oversized end table. I'm not quite sure like the style of this furniture, like what it's definitely not like farmhouse or anything, but I just thought it was a really cool piece. I thought it was, fun in the shape of it and stuff like that. And it does have some unique details down the side. So I did take it outside and I used my sander and I just made sure that the top of it and everything was nice and smooth. And I'm going to give it a very good cleaning, making sure that all the dust and everything is cleaned off of it before I go through and paint it. So the paint that I chose on this one was silk, and the reason why is because it is a redwood, so the chances of bleed through, is pretty high. So I just wanted to skip all the drama with it and start with a paint that I know would work. Your silk paint is your all-in-one paint, is your primer, your paint, and your top coat built into one. So it is my go-to for pieces like this. I chose the color Cactus because I thought it was just a really fun green, and for this being a unique piece and, with the style of it and everything, I just thought it would be fun to do it in a different color. I think that this piece would be really cool to use as like a plant stand. I can see it on, just having a bunch of pots up top with all your succulents and stuff like that. I think it would be a really good piece for that. If you had two oversized chairs or something like that, this piece would be really good for it. Plus it has all that storage down there. You could put like a wicker basket down there to use for your blankets and stuff. I mean, it's a really good table. I like it a lot. So I'm going through and on the sides I'm, paying attention, making sure that you pay attention to your corners and everything so there's no paint runs or anything like that. I try to follow the grain of the wood as much as I can. And then for the top, you can see that the wood is going in two different directions, but I just like to do even long strokes, so that's how I'll go through on the top. And then I made sure to do the inside. I made sure to paint the inside of the sides, and then of course the base of it, I gave it a long even strokes there too. Okay, so a few things that I like to do when I'm painting pieces like this is I like to move around the furniture piece as much as possible. I try to catch any paint runs or any globs of paint as quickly as I can, because if you can smooth them out before the paint has a chance to dry or start to set, you can correct any mistakes that you would have after the piece is completely dry. So the less sanding I can do, the happier I am. Sanding is not one of my favorite things at all. So again, with the top, the wood grain goes in two different directions, but I want to prevent, the brush strokes as much as I can. So I like to go in just long, even strokes, and I really am happy with the way my first coat turned out. But again, you just want to move around and walk around your piece as much as you can to try to correct any kind of mistakes that you have before the paint dries. So here I'm coming through with my second coat, and I had a friend stop by and we were sitting there talking as I was painting it and stuff, and we were like, what color should I paint these little details that are on the side? And I debated going back and forth. I was like, a cream color or black, but then she was like, what if you did a little touch of gold? So I thought that would be really fun. This is already a unique piece as it is with the color and the shape of everything. So we ended up going with black. So once I get my second coat on, I am going to come through with silk in the color of anchor, and I'm going to paint those details on the side black. You know, I've said this before, but second coats are always my favorite because you can really start to see your piece in its, finishing stages. To see that full coverage and everything is always one of my favorite things. And it's like your second coat always goes faster to me. It seems that way. And I really do love this green when it's dry and that matte finish and how it gets a little bit darker. Then when it's wet, I was like, oh, I could see myself painting a lot of pieces this color. It's a really pretty shade of green. So this is where I come in with the anchor, and I'm just using a little detail brush, and I'm just making sure I was trying my best to not get any on the green paint. There are a few places that I did have to come through with a paintbrush and just kind of touch up to make sure that the green was covering the black so that line could be there. But I just use a little painter's brush and I just paint the inside of those details all the way around. And on this one, I believe I ended up having to go through and doing 3 coats because I was just using a little painter's brush. It didn't give, you can't load as much paint onto it as you could like a bigger brush. So I think I went through and I ended up having to do that 3 different times, but it dried really fast because it was such thin coats. But the black did cover very well in those areas. Definitely let me know what you would have done with this piece. I always like hearing other people's ideas. It's good inspiration for like if I did run across another piece like this or, something just, it's always fun. Just definitely let me know. Would you have went with these colors? Would you have rather have done the inset to be in like a lighter color? But you can see how the gold just really pops against that black. It just helps it really shine. And with the gilding wax, I always keep a paper towel in my hand. So as I put the gilding wax on the tips of my finger, I can wipe off any of the excess because it doesn't take a lot at all. And then I just go through and I buff into the details that I want it to show. And on this piece, I was really just winging it. I didn't know where I really wanted the gold to go. So I was just, as I moved the piece around and worked my way around it, I just put little touches of gold in places that I thought was, fun for this piece. I really love how it went around those details on the side though. And then I ended up going on the base of the end table and then on the sides, and then I went all the way around the top on the side of the lip of it. I went all the way around it and just kind of buffed a little bit of the gold into it. I didn't make it a hard line. I kind of just did like a feathering very lightly. So, just enough shimmer to give this piece a little bit of extra detail. It was a lot of fun. I've never done anything like this before, but I really did have a lot of fun doing it. I enjoyed it. I think that I would like to do, a few more pieces like this. And this is my finished project. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Let me know what you guys think. If you like what you see, hit the thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on Facebook for more pieces like this throughout the store. And we'll see you guys next time.